Good morning. Today is the 9th of March, 2020. This is Math 1, and we're going to be talking about angles and transversals. So we're doing actually 2 lessons today. So we're going to be identifying different types of angles. So we're going to start in that first box. I want you to draw the following. This is angle naming. So if I have an angle that looks like this, and it's got letters on it, A, B, C, this is angle A, B, C. This is the angle symbol, angle A, B, C. You could also call it CBA. It's the same angle. But it can't be BAC because there's not even an angle there. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. I would need to have the line there. The reason we do this is so that we can be talking about angles, and when I say, hey, look at angle ABC, you know what to look at. Questions on the first box? Good, you got the first box done. 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 Well, you get it. Hello. Hey. Let's go to the second box. We're going to talk about adjacent angles. Adjacent angles, adjacent angles share a side. That's a share. Adjacent angles share a side. We're going to put underneath that in parentheses, they don't overlap. So if my hands were angles, this would be, there we go, that would be adjacent. How they kind of share an edge. They got a sharing edge. But overlapping means they're, like my fingers are still kind of sharing a finger, but they're overlapping. That's not adjacent. Adjacent is right next to each other like this. So here's an image of adjacents. Angle, BCA. BDC is adjacent to CDA. Why? Because they share that side right there. They are adjacent, meaning they are next to each other. BDC and CDA are adjacent. That's your second box. Questions on adjacent. Questions on why there are whiteboards all over the floor. That's a good question. Adjacent. Questions on adjacents. Adjacents. Next one. Supplementary angles add up to 180. This is not new. You learned this one in 7th grade, I think. Supplementaries. Supplementary angles add up to 180. Here's what they look like. I'm going to label it differently here. I'm going to label it 1 and 2. That's cool. Angles 1 and 2 are supplements. They add up to 180. They make a straight line. They don't have to be adjacent to each other. Meaning, if I had this guy over here and he was at 100 degrees, this one's at 80 degrees, they add up to 180, they're still supplements. Here's how you're going to remember it. Oh, I don't feel so good. Oh, I'm going to lie down flat on the ground. Like a straight line. You got me? Oh. All right. You with me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, you know what would make me feel better? Vitamin C. That's a supplement, isn't it? If I had like a supplement, like a vitamin supplement, I'd feel better. There you go. All right? Supplementary flat line. Supplementary, I add them together, it makes a flat line, because that's what I need. Yes? It's the best I got, Jordan, I know.
No, it took me a second to get what you're
It's
saying.
supplement, right?
Yeah.
So supplementary, I need a vitamin, I'm flat, I'm laying down. Good. Go to your next box. This is box number 4. Complementary angles. Complementary angles add up to 90. And they don't have to be adjacent. If I have an angle that's a 45 and another one's a 45, they add up to 90, they're complements. Hey, if I've got an angle that's 10, what would you have to have, Fisher, to make a complement? Nice. Micah, if I have an 80, what would you have to make me a supplement?
Oh,
100. So how are we going to remember the complement? Well, I have a way of remembering that one too. Oh, I got this. Look at this. Look how straight I'm sitting in my chair. I'm making like a 90 degree. My posture is so wonderful. I want to compliment. Why don't you compliment me? Maddie, say, Mr. Barre, you're sitting so nicely. Thank you for that compliment. This is a complimentary angle. Cool? Complimentary. When you sit up straight. Not all slouched over and hunched over like Quasimodo. Okay. Yeah. I don't think he lives there anymore though. Never been burned. All right. Is it time to turn our page?
Yes. Yeah.
Turn our page and draw me 4 new boxes.
Is this transversals now?
No, we still have one more, and then we'll do transversals.
Okay.
Before we do transversals, we need the vertical angle. Now, actually, before we do that, we need congruency. This guy right here, put this in a box. This is one whole box for this. I'll go take the attendance. Yeah, this Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you want a copy of it? Yeah. Oh, God, Was the snack bar open today?
Yeah.
Is that every day now?
Yeah.
What?
Snack
Where's the
bar?
snack bar?
Yeah, it's down here at the Lionston.
It hasn't been really advertised very well yet.
No.
What's in it?
Snacks,
Pop-Tarts.
bars of steel.
Wait,
Do you have to pay for it?
Yeah.
It's all free.
It's pretty cheap. It's all free.
It's really
It's a free
cheap.
snack bar.
It's not a free snack.
Well, I was gonna say how much.
It's really cheap.
Most of the stuff costs like
Yeah.
The cheapest is 25 cents and the most expensive is $1.50.
Yeah, I'm missing JJ. Hey, hey.
Yeah.
Orders, baby.
Is there like Pop-Tarts and stuff?
Yeah.
There's
Dude.
Pop-Tarts?
Yeah.
They're the healthy Pop-Tarts though.
No,
Look.
they're not this.
No, they're not.
This is what they look like.
They're
Yeah, I got one
cinnamon.
too.
Mr. Barre, cheers.
How much
What
were
flavor
those?
did you get?
Maddie, how much were
I got
those?
cinnamon too.
I don't know. Xavier gave it to me in the hall.
I like strawberries.
Yeah, strawberries are nice. People argue everything. You guys never have to ask for food again.
Well, I'm not
Here.
sure that might.
We have this written down, Chris. Chris, in your notes, this.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Congruent, exact same. Similar, same size, same shape, but different size. Like if I scaled it up or down. This would be a dilation. I could have similar, right. Next box, vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent. Vertical angles are congruent. I'll give you a picture of vertical angles. This is one you learned in 7th grade also, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just cross two lines. Does not matter which angle I choose. Which one? This one?
No.
This one?
No.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. Ready? That's angle 1 and 2 are vertical angles. They're congruent too. You see it? They're both the little angle. You got the obtuse and the acute. Those two are the same angle, same measurement. 1 and 2 are verticals. And then what's this? A and B? What are they?
Obtuse.
Vertical. And they're obtuse, but they're vertical angles also. So 1 and 2 are verticals, A and B are vertical.
1 and
1 and A? 1 and A are not vertical. What are they?
They're supplement.
Adjacent.
They're adjacent and they're supplements. 1 and A. These guys are adjacent and supplements. What are these two? Adjacent and supplement. These two?
Adjacent.
Yeah, these two?
Adjacent.
And these two?
Vertical.
Vertical and those two?
Vertical.
Vertical. Cool. Boom. So what did we learn? This is our recap. Adjacent, share a side. Supplementary, add to 180. Complementary, add to 90. Vertical, across from each other. Congruent. Congruent, same shape and size. Similar, same shape, different size. Wait, that's because we're doing 2 lessons today. Let's go on to the next one, transversals. Standard transversals. There we go. With the sea star. Starfish.
You just used it.
4 IXLs tonight. Let's keep going.
Really? 10 minutes each.
Let's go to our next box. If I have 2 lines, 1, 2, notice those lines are not parallel. Potential. And then I bring another line that joins them together or cuts through them. Boom. That line right there is called a transversal.
Is that only on non-parallel?
Even on parallel lines, it's still called a transversal. That's your next box. What, these guys cross over here? Ignore it for right now. I know it's kind of tough because this is the way we kind of describe it. Actually, usually it's kind of like 2 segments and a transversal. Notice this does a couple things. We've got some areas out here that are called exterior areas, and the inside part is called an interior. So this is exterior. And this is interior. This is exterior. Interior and exterior. That's still all in that box. You want pretty pictures? You want pretty pictures? Pretty pictures from Maddie? Pretty pictures from Maddie? I wonder if JJ's watching at home. What's JJ doing?
I think he's
JJ, are you watching at home? Trent, take out your phone. Trent has his phone out. JJ, hey, hey. Now, we're going to go and do it again. This time we're going to do it with parallel lines. Parallel, that's the word for parallel. Lines, cut, by transversal.
This is the next one.
Yes. Parallel lines cut by transversal. So try to make those guys look parallel. All right, so that actually makes 8 different angles, doesn't it? When I cut this guy up, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles. I have 4 interior angles and 4 exterior angles. Angle 1 and 2 are alternate interior angles. They're inside, but they're on alternate sides of the transversal. These are alternate interior. JJ's watching. JJ's watching. Let's bring it over here so JJ can see. Then, next box. Do you have to flip a page? Or we still have a box there?
Which is what?
Gotta flip a page, flip the page. Two parallel lines cut by a transversal. I have 2 exterior and 2 exterior over here. 1 and 2. They're both exterior on alternate sides of the transversal. They are called alternate exterior angles. Did you write that down, JJ? Hey, hey. Oh, sorry. Nico? Okay, you mixed up with JJ.
You probably didn't like
JJ's
that.
on the mark.
JJ, did you write this down? Are you taking notes with us, JJ? JJ. JJ, you taking notes? Are you in there? In that little tiny spot in there? Where are you in there? Hey, JJ. Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Just the delay.
Yeah, there's a delay. Then we've got one final one. Are you threatening me? That's what it looks like you're doing, man. Our last one, go to another box. Actually, I'm going to add 2 more boxes. All right, now. Good. Give me another parallel lines with the transversal. Parallel lines with the transversal. Really, I like how you're mixing it up each time. How many angles are up here? 8. Notice we kind of have this top top group of 4 and this bottom group of 4. I've got upper right, upper left, lower right, lower left. If I look at those as 2 distinct groups of angles, this angle here and that angle there. One's exterior, one's interior. They're both on the same side of the transversal. This is upper right, upper right. These are called corresponding angles. If I wanted to, I could do this like A and B. A and B are corresponding angles because they're in the same position. The same position on the top set and the same position on the bottom set. They correspond to each other.
He's taking notes.
Good job, JJ. JJ, good job taking notes. Yay. Now, when we look at these, we can see a bunch of stuff. What kind of angles are these right here?
Supplementary. Oh, wait.
Nope.
Oh, of course, all, corresponding.
No.
Those are.
They're vertical angles. Got it. So these are verticals. What can you tell me about these 2 right here?
Vertical.
Verticals. What can you tell me about these 2 right here?
Supplementary.
Supplementary. What can you tell me about these angles right here? Alternate exterior. What can you tell me about these 2? Alternate interiors. Since this is 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal, there are actually only 2 different angles up here. You've got the big obtuse one and the little acute one. All the acutes are the same angle. All the obtuses are the same angle. Yes?
Wouldn't number 2 though be an obtuse angle?
This is obtuse. This is obtuse, which means they have the same measurement. This is obtuse. This is obtuse. They have the same measurement. This is obtuse. That's obtuse. They have the same measurement. All the big ones have the same measurement. All the little ones have the same measurement. We're only really creating 2 types of angles up there. All right. I'm going to add one extra thing in here. Alternate interior, corresponding. What was the word? Not adjacent. This is just for IXL. I've never used this one before, but IXL uses what's the word? They've got a name for these guys right here, 1 and 2. Not something interior. Not corresponding. It's not a word that we've used. They have a name for it. It's going to show up when you start doing the IXLs. They've got a name for these 2 guys are something interiors. And I don't remember what they're called. It's going to show up. They're going to use a word that I haven't used yet. And it's going to be those 2 things. But I've never used that in a math class before. All right, we're done.
Yay.
Okay, JJ, listen to the instructions. There are 4 IXLs. I expect 10 minutes or an 80 on all of them. 10 minutes or an 80, minimum is a 50. How much time is left in class? Enough to do half of it right now at least. 10 minutes each or an 80. That's it.